Welcome to day 3 of the challenge. You should be proud of yourself. You've made it to day 3. You're getting some momentum now. You're about 10% in. That's great stuff. Today, we're going to be talking about the golden rules of marketing. And we're talking about marketing rules pertaining to webinars in particular. These are 5 golden rules you have to see as like must-dos. You have to do these. These are really, really important in order for your whole automated webinar system to work. This is a marketing system. You're going to be talking about your content. You're going to be talking about how you can help people. You're going to be giving an offer. So you want to make sure that all those things fit in perfectly. You have to have the right rules, the right framework to fit that all in. This is all going to fall into place as we build our automated webinar system, our emails, our registration pages, our offer, all that stuff. So these are 5 must-do rules. Let's start with rule number 1, and that's trust. The whole point of doing webinars is to build trust with your audience, to build trust with your potential customer. This is how we earn business, okay? By building trust. And when people join your automated webinar and watch your automated webinar, this is like your audition, your chance to earn their trust. They want to make sure that they're doing business with the right people. So when they join your webinar, they're going to see, hey, does this person actually give value? Do they actually deliver on what they say? Does the title actually get fulfilled? That promise in that title, does it get fulfilled in the workshop? If so, if you do fulfill that promise, it allows people to feel like, hey, I can trust this person, this business, because they delivered on what they promised. And there's a good chance if I give my money that they'll deliver on their promise with their product. You see how that works? So it's your audition, it's your kind of trial run, it's your first business transaction. Everything we do with our automated webinars and webinars in general is to build trust. So anything that breaks trust is a big no-no. We don't do that. We're transparent, we're honest, we make sure that we put trust as rule number 1. Now, rule number 2. If you have no positioning in your business, you have no sale. Okay? That's a really important rule. You need to have some sort of position in your market, position with your product. A lot of people call this the USP, your unique selling proposition, right? How are you different from the competition? But more importantly, how are you better? Why should I choose you? What's your position? For example, Webinar Ninja, my company. What's our position, right? There's so many different webinar softwares out there in the market. How do I differentiate myself? What's my USP? How does our business kind of stand out? How are we better? So our USP is that we're easy to use and we're all in one. So that's how we position ourselves. That if you want something that's easy to use, that's hassle-free, that's, it takes 10 seconds to create a webinar, it's super simple because also you don't have to add on any other products. It's all in one. We're the ones for you. If you're looking for something a little bit more complicated, go somewhere else. We're about easy to use, user-friendly, and that everything's under one roof. So that's really our USP. You got to find out what you're great at. You might be saying, my product is great at many things, but you got to choose one so you have a position. Without a position, without saying, hey, we're known for this, you're going to be vanilla. No one's going to hear you. It just looks like a bunch of ranting and raving. So what you want to do is have a position, a USP. Rule number 3. Now, they say that it takes 7 touch points for people to learn about your business and want to give you a try. So we're going to talk about these touch points throughout the automated webinar system. It's going to take 7 times for people to kind of hear you, know you, see your registration page, thank you page, or email, reminders, all that kind of stuff. We want to make sure we get as many touch points with our customers, with our potential customers, so we can make that sale. It's not enough for us to tell them once or twice or 3 times. We have to have at least 7 touch points so that we're fresh in their mind. People have a lot going on in their lives. You know that. We're all busy. We have so many things on our plate. So it's going to take more than once. It's going to take at least 7 times for us to be able to be heard by our potential customer in order to convert them into a customer. This is something I want you to keep in mind because this is going to be a reoccurring theme throughout the training. Rule number 4, a confused mind never buys. That's a really, really good rule. A confused mind never buys. That means if I am giving too much information, whether on my registration page, whether I'm confusing people in my email notifications, whether my workshop is all over the place, there's no structure, there's too many things I'm trying to cover, whether it's even my offer, You want to make sure it's easy to understand. Whatever you communicate about your business, about your webinar, about your product, whatever it is, it's got to be clear, it's got to be concise, it's got to be easy to understand. If it's confusing in any way, then they will not buy. They're going to feel overwhelmed. Keep this in mind. This is super important. Take down some notes as we're going along here, because it's really important for you to understand this, because you're in the weeds. You know your business very well. You know your product really well. You know all the ins and outs. So for you, everything is simple, right? So you got to really bring it down as if you're teaching somebody, showing somebody for the first time, somebody who's never heard about what you do. Maybe you want to imagine somebody, whether it's a sister, a brother, somebody who's really not in the know of what you're doing. A good example is like your next door neighbor, right? If you're not really close to your next door neighbor and they don't know what your business is all about, explain it to them in that language. You want to be simple as possible. What simplifying allows you to do is, in whatever copy you're writing, your email notifications, your registration page, it allows you just to focus on what's important. Again, your USP and the problems you're solving, right? The results you are going to give. And that leads me to the next point, rule number 5, PAS. This is very common in copywriting, this acronym, and I'll tell you what it stands for. I just recently heard it from Kate Toon, who's a copywriter at a conference here in Melbourne. So I want to talk to you about PAS for a moment, and this is a rule you want to structure every time you talk about your offer, your webinar, your value, your workshop. It's a formula. It's super simple for you to use. Now, P stands for the problem that you're going to solve, or pain point. P stands for problem or pain point. What is the problem your audience is experiencing, right? What are the issues they have? What are their fears, their worries? What are the things that are keeping them up at night and that your product actually solves, that your actual business solves? So what you want to talk about here is the pain point. Really talk about it. A stands for aggravating the pain point. This means that you're going to really press on that button. Talk about what happens if you don't solve this problem. What's going to happen if these problems persist? For example, let's say I am a fitness coach and you say, it's really hard to get into shape, right? You have high blood pressure. Maybe, you're overweight. You're looking to get in shape and feel better about your body and yourself. If you don't take action now, this is only going to get worse. Your health is going to get even worse. You're not going to be able to go on those trips and travel like you'd like. You're not going to be able to, play with your children. You're not going to be able to, enjoy, the outdoor activities that you always enjoyed growing up. You really got to aggravate what it means to have that problem, what it looks like in the future. What happens if you don't solve that problem? And then lastly, letter S, PAS, is solution. You're going to talk about the solution. What happens when they buy your product? What does their life look like? Okay, what is the result? Results. This is a very important word. Let's talk about results. What's going to happen at the end? What does their life look like? Not features. We're talking about what, not even benefits, not even like, hey, this is what I do, this is what this product does, but what is it going to give them? What are they going to get at the end? PAS. Pain, aggravate that pain, and then solution. So those are the golden rules. Let's recap. Number 1 is trust. Building trust is the whole reason why we're doing this. Number 2 is positioning. You got to have a USP, unique selling proposition. You got to come at your customer, your potential customer. This is what we're known for. This is why you want to join. Number 3, 7 touch points. You want to make sure we hit 7 touch points. Number 4, a confused mind never buys. We got to simplify our language, simplify our messaging. Number 5, PAS, pain, aggravate that pain, solution. Your homework. Today's homework for day 3, okay? I need you to write down. I need you to make it super clear. What's your unique selling proposition? What's your positioning, right? It has to be one thing, right? For us, it's like combination of easy to use and all in one. But if they choose one thing, easy to use. Every single person that uses Webinar Ninja, every time they write a review, the first thing they say is it's easy to use. So that's my unique selling proposition. What's your unique selling proposition for your product, your service, your course, whatever it is? You need to make sure you have that. What's your positioning? How you differentiate yourself with the competition? All right, if you want some bonus homework, there's a really good book I highly recommend. It's a short read. It's called The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. I have it right here, actually. Here it is. 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. Al Ries, Jack Trout. It's a classic. It's a really good book. I highly recommend it. You can get it on Amazon. We'll put a link in the course materials for today. Really short read, not that bad. And there's 22 chapters. And as you can see, they're like pretty cool short chapters. So check it out. Highly recommend it. So make sure you finish your homework, write down your USP, because this is going to carry over in all the content when we build our automated webinar system. All this stuff is important, and I'll see you on day 4. Let's do it.